All right, guys, we have some really cool stuff happening in the Great Lakes region. And I'm joined here with a brand ambassador from a sport that's kind of up and coming. And I'm just going to let her take the stage and fill you in about this because it's actually really, really cool information. So introduce yourself and let us know what we're sitting here for today.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Parsons. My Instagram is Mackenzie Wild, and I got really wrapped up in the spearfishing industry recently.
Okay.
So I signed on with OceanAmmo this year, which was just a huge blessing to me because I'm so new to the sport, and especially as a woman, I just feel very grateful to be experiencing what I am in the Great Lakes region because we have our Great Lakes here. It's just such a great opportunity for everybody who wants to find out what spearfishing is about. It's so new and it's so enticing
And it's thought of as such a saltwater thing. Like to me, I didn't
right.
even consider spearfishing in fresh water until we started talking about it. So I thought that was kind of cool. So if you like dive in as to how that works in the freshwater community, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, we in Michigan have a great spearfishing community. There is the Michigan Spearfishing Association, which is run by my friend Jonathan Dirtka and Riley, who is now our only charter captain in the state of Michigan on the Great Lakes. And it's just huge here because it's so safe to do it
Right.
in the Great Lakes. And it's like a mock-up ocean almost because the lakes are so huge you can't even tell they're lakes. Obviously, you know that you've been on the lakes your whole life. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just wild to me that we have all this fresh water and you can explore and you can find out what's in it. And you can go to all these fishing spots and be right there with the fish, which is like so great for anybody who's in the outdoors and they just love creation.
Now, is there a lot of training that's affiliated with spearfishing itself? Because like you think of saltwater stuff, you could probably get away with doing this in a lot shallower water, maybe your 8, 10, 12 foot type stuff. But you said you guys are going down like 40 to 60 foot, right?
Yes. So the most difficult part of spearfishing is the actual diving itself. So the community, especially Jonathan Durka, he is a huge free diver primarily. And I
Okay.
think that he says often that your biggest limit is always going to be your ability to dive. And so I've been working a lot on how deep I can dive because it's a whole process. You have to, first of all, have a lot of safety involved in that. And there's something that they do called like diving the line. And you're really working on a lot of calmness in the body, which is why it's such a intriguing sport to me specifically is just because it's so rigorous on the body. It's the hardest thing I've ever done and I grew up an athlete and you are pushing your body to the limits but at the same time keeping it so unbelievably calm.
Yeah, there's a lot of mental aspect as well as physical, right?
Huge. So when John was teaching me some of the exercises, a lot of it was like forcing your body into as close to bradycardia as you can, which
Okay.
is just wild to think of what you're asking your body to do. And there's a lot of pain in it, like, but there's a lot of gain too.
Right. And aside from the swimming aspect, you're down there with all sorts of different gear, right? Like you said, OceanAmmo was who
Yes.
you're with the most, right? And like that's your sponsorship towards it and what you utilize. So like, what's this? You brought a spear gun, so like run
Yes.
run that by it a little bit because that's pretty interesting. You're diving with that the entire time, free diving. There's no tanks. You're just essentially snorkeling underwater. Is that how that
Yeah,
goes? Okay.
yeah. You're snorkeling down there so deep, but this is my new spear gun that is provided to me by OceanAmmo, and they are just the best company ever. I'm so grateful to be involved with them. I wouldn't stand for anything that I didn't truly believe in, and OceanAmmo, like the owner, has just been the most generous person ever. But also, more importantly, he's like a leader in the industry for a really good reason with the quality of these guns.
Yeah, I
And
check it out.
yeah, absolutely, please. It's a double roller, and it is
Is
this
that
is
for
the
these then?
yep, these are
Yeah.
the
Okay.
rollers up top, and you're going to be loading the spear into this top portion here underneath this part.
Up the
You
tray.
cannot load a spear gun on land. Please don't ever do that.
Really?
It's a safety thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but so this one has a
Yeah, because
reel.
these are pretty solid sized bands.
Yes, they are unbelievably hard to load too, which was something that I requested with Paul when he was customizing this one for me. Was I said that one of my biggest barriers, especially as a woman, is loading this thing because you're underwater loading it and you have to pull these bands. You put it up against your sternum right here, and then
Okay.
you're pulling the band. Oops, you're pulling the band towards you, and the amount of strength that takes, I can't do it. So I asked Paul, could you please, you know, make sure that this is a gun that I'm able to load as a woman, and like women in the outdoors, we're hitting the gym just to be able to keep up with you men. So, but yeah, this gun, it's the Hybris 80 Pro. So it's a shorter gun, and it's just like so incredible the way that it's designed. So it has this special substance on top of it that OceanAmmo has.
Like on top of the wood itself here?
Yeah, it's coated in it, and it is special to the ocean. So I actually have the information that he sent on the special substance. So it is a living organism that secretes slime when in contact with salt water. So not fresh water. This is a saltwater substance. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it never disappears, and it is harmless to the humans and animals and the fish, and it's naturally occurring in the ocean. So this is a secret substance, but it just makes the experience all the better because these are quality guns, but like there's like a secret to it, is this substance that's all over it that activates in the salt water, which I'm excited to try that out.
No, that's really cool to see. And you're swimming in, like, what's an effective range for like a spear gun like this? You said there's a bunch of different types of guns or different like poundages, I guess would be the equivalents. And as far as like, I see this as underwater archery. So when I see that, like one band to me would think of like a lower weight versus 2 or 3 bands or something like that. So for you, what's an effective range underwater for shooting a fish?
So I know that this gun provided to me now, it shoots further than what I have been using.
Okay.
And what I have been using currently is I've been borrowing from John, and it's like probably, I mean, you could take a shot, but you've got to be pretty close. This is like 10 to 15 feet. Now this one will get me a little bit further, but you are hunting these fish. It's not even as much fishing. You're underwater hunting because you're chasing them.
Yeah, I was curious. I see there's not really like sights on it or any kind of anything to really dictate where that would go. So that made me pretty curious as far as ranges, you know, like, so you're creeping along the bottom, right? And then you're looking up at the fish, or are you looking down, or how does, like, I don't know anything about it. So how does it work?
So something that you can do, which is really fun, is you can scout, and you can attach the buoy to the back of the boat. And I find a lot of fun in this, but you hold on to the buoy above the water. You're on the surface. Most of the time you're on the surface, and you're scouting for fish with your goggles that you got on, because you got your scuba gear, essentially your free diving gear, and you are up on the top of the water looking around. You're swimming around, you're scouting, you're like effectively just looking for fish. But if you want to cover a large surface of area, then you're going to be holding onto the buoy, which will tire your arms out so quickly. But you hold onto the buoy and they troll with you looking around, and you're looking for
just going along
the
for
fish.
a ride.
Yeah. It's so fun.
Cool.
I loved it. I've only done it once, but it was so much fun. But once you find the fish, which you would think there's way more fish out there. You would think, right? But
much more difficult than freshwater. I mean, you don't have the reefs or the structure in a same abundance that you would in saltwater.
Right. Now, I know that there's places that John goes that I'm excited to go with him, because he's like, you know, these are established people in the industry, and I'm so new to it. So I'm looking forward to getting into it more and going to these places that they've all gone. But like, there are really cool spots that they've got, and there's so much walleye, and I know that they've gone for trout, which obviously needs much colder water.
Yeah. So
you've got your different species, and just like angling above the water, you've got a lot of information you need to know. I think one of the hardest things that is making that change, aside from the physical difficulty, is identifying fish under the water. So different from identifying fish when you're casting reel, you pull it up, you're like, what do I already have?
Yeah.
But when you're spearfishing, you're like, is this legal to shoot? How big is it? So you're going down, you find the fish, and then you're like, what is that? And then you got to confirm, because you have to be sure. If you're not sure, don't shoot. So that's a big part of a lot of the regulations that we were working on, because we needed to make sure that this was something that felt like a thing we could get approved in Michigan. Are people going to be able to adhere to those standards of regulations?
Right. So, and you mentioned that there was like a legislative aspect to it too. You guys worked with the NRC and moved forward with that, and there was I saw something about a bunch of new regulations. What's some of the new stuff that's out for this
Yes.
year for it?
This is so exciting to me because I got to see this up close and personal with John collected a ton of data on what spearfishing was like before because it was, you know, it was legalized, but we didn't have the numbers. He wanted to push it further. He has so much he wants to do. We want to get more species, more game species added to the list. So we went to the NRC meetings and we were asking. We spoke in front of the NRC, myself included, and they just wanted to present to them that, hey, you know, this is something that's not harming the ecosystem. In fact, we have the Michigan trash divers, you know, they're removing lead from the water.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually more fish die from catch and release than they do from not actually dying from you're shooting the fish, obviously, but you're being selective about it. And the opportunity is so much harder when you're spearfishing as opposed to, you know, like you're done spearfishing, you can cast in a bunch of lines on top of the boat and you'll pull in your whole limit. Like if you're in a good day, you could pull in everything easily, but leaving spearfishing, you might be like 8 hours before you see a fish. Who knows? 4 hours before you see a fish.
Fish is probably not going to be sitting overly stagnant in one spot, so you have to move with them.
Yeah, you got to find them. But the regulations, we did open the water, so that's really exciting. They did approve it, which was a huge push. It was a long time of, you know, the commissioners are fantastic on the board currently. We're very thankful for what we're seeing and the change that's happening there, and it's been such a cool thing for me to be able to see how that works and understand how these regulations get made and be a part of it has been so cool. I've attended every NRC meeting since September because I think it's wildly fascinating that we can play a part in this as the public and we can let them know, like, hey, you know, we want more from this, but we have to make sure that it's not going to be impactful to the environment in a negative way. And we want to make sure that we aren't disrupting other industries. You know, we respect the charter community, and Riley is a charter captain, and you know, they're everybody in the community. We're all anglers of multiple disciplines. It's not just spearfishing that we do. It's kind of like we're the people who enjoy everything and we want to try more, and we're just like gumptuous on there's more out there. What else can we do? And but we want to not cross any like moral or ethical laws.
Because I mean, you think about diving for these fish, it could be similar waters as charter captains trolling.
Yeah.
So I assume you have to have like a dive buoy and like how does that work for separation? Are charter guys having to go around you then while you're diving?
Yeah. So, I mean, like basic respect, you're not going to come up on someone else and just be like, there's my spot now. You're not going to just stake out where they're staked out. But there are general guidelines and rules that you do have to follow, which, you know, is something that we're looking forward to more people being aware of. But you have your flag that you've got to put up, and you have 100 feet. I think it's 100 feet or 100 yards.
Have to double check.
You got to double check that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 100 feet around the flag. But then there's also a rule. I think that they have to be within 200 feet. As far as I know that there's a couple hundred somewhere around there that you have to be within. But the main thing is just like safety. You don't want to get run over by a boat. That'd be a bad day.
Right.
But yeah, we want to be really respectful of that community. And there has been a lot of pushback, and we understand because it's the same thing as like police officers. You know, there's going to be a bad egg. It's just bound to happen in any industry.
There'll be some kind of arguments. I mean, that happens amongst fishermen as it is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a territory thing, and nobody wants to share what their spot is. But the thing is like we could just as easily be out there with our, you know, casting spinning rod.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, cool. Is there anything else about spearfishing you think that people should know, or OceanAmmo, or like anything in that light?
Oh yeah, I mean, OceanAmmo has been it's such a great company, and I just can't say enough good things about OceanAmmo, just from a genuine point of like just watching everybody on the team and how they operate and how generous everybody is with one another, and the trips I'm looking forward to. I get to go out there in May and meet everybody on the team, or select few on the team. And, you know, I've got Anna Hilton. She's the one who got me on the team, who's friends with John, and like the community around the world is huge. And I didn't realize that there's so many people who are doing this. And I mean, like I'm a small drop in the ocean, but it's just cool to know that there's people who have this in common. And I know OceanAmmo wants to get people into the sport as well, which is something I share with them, because as a woman, I'm like, girls, like we could do this too. I'm not saying we don't need men, like we love men, but also like I just want women to know that you don't have to have somebody to hold your hand the entire way, and you can pave your own way, because guys are doing it too. Like, why can't we? I know there's barriers to that, and there's a lot that we face in the industry as women, but Nothing would make me happier than to see more people in spearfishing, because it's such a cool experience. It's just like, you want to share your love for something, and I want people to be able to have that joy and see how incredible spearfishing is. I love doing hard things. I love pushing myself. I love feeling accomplished. I know a lot of the people in the outdoors industry are the same way. So just to see women get to do things that are hard, I'm just like so for it. I'm like, go girl, like you get it. I just want to see them succeed. Right. So it's really cool. And I know that, OceanAmmo has a women's line that they're coming out with, and it's cool to see people in the industry like supporting us getting into it. And I know that, I've heard stories of women having really bad experiences. And so it's cool to know that there are people out there that want you in the sport and that respect you in the sport. And for me, I know I have a really big emphasis of like, I want to be seen for my skill. I don't want to be seen because I'm a woman. I want people to see that like I'm in this too. And, I'm new and stuff, but I'd like to be growing, and I want it to be focused on my skill.
Awesome. No, I mean, appreciate the information. It seems kind of cool. I think it's something that I would try. I'd probably wait for a little bit warmer water, at least off of the initial. Don't know like temperatures you guys are out in. I've seen people do ice diving or like going through the ice and stuff, and
yeah.
I think that's cool, especially if you know what you're doing. But as far as me going out to try it, being that I have no knowledge of it other than pretty much conversation we've had here, I would want to go like July, when there's not a lake flip, something warmer, and just kind of get the foot in the door, because that, I think that'd be one of the more difficult things is like, how would somebody, or how did you like come into this and start, getting the idea of spearfishing?
So I went on a surf fishing trip in Florida and just thought it would be cool if we had like spears, because I think we were on the DNR app and saw that spearfishing is illegal. And so went through and was like, well, I'll just buy a license because it's free, right? And so bought some spear guns, but those were, or not spear guns, those were spear poles. And because it was legal, because we got a license for Florida and we're fishing and had our scuba stuff. And so you might as well just get in the water and see what you can spear legally. And so that's kind of how I got in. And then I think I saw Jonathan Durka on his Purely Michigan spearfishing, and saw like his super cool videos. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've done that in Florida. I'm really curious about it. And he gave me a call immediately and was like, get on the boat. Like you want to, like, he's such a community person. And that's the thing, is like everybody wants everybody trying it. So, but in a safe way. So the thing is also is like, you want to get in with people who are going to be teaching you, because it is so rigorous and dangerous to be upfront. You need to be diving with somebody else.
Well, anything in the water, I feel like, could kind of hold those limitations.
Yep. And surprisingly with spearfishing, I think the statistic is that most blackouts, because that's the biggest risk, most blackouts from holding your breath for so long happen right within that surface. So it's just a surprising thing, is like, you're, depending on how deep down you are, which I don't know how far I can even get right now, if it's 40 or what, but like you're down there and you got to make it back up. Right. And once you're at the top, if you've been holding your breath for a long time, your carbon dioxide is building in your body, and it's dangerous to be getting up there towards the top. That's when people pass out.
Well, it all makes sense. Super informative. Been super cool to talk about it. And like I say, I kind of look forward to giving it a try, or just seeing how this develops and what it becomes.
Get in the water. Grab a spear gun. Let's go.
All right, we'll get rolling.